Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do for you. Oh, I got something nice for you today. This is going to be fun. Let's go. Rightism 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right Thinkers mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. This lesson will do all those things if you pay attention. Right thinkers way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission, and that's what I'm on, is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See if I'm going with this? Let's make it happen. So I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is ego tripping. It's dangerous. Excuse me. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. It's okay. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself and always to Maya. Be true. This is a horse like the gift that keep on giving. This horse never dies. Right thinkers, let's talk about the ego is. One of my favorite gospels is God is everything. That ain't the ego. No, the ego is, you ready? Your dark side. Well, yeah, okay. Nobody wants to look at that side, but that's what your ego is. It's the mirror to your higher self, which represents the lower self. As above, so below. Yes, we have an ego. So let's hopefully get a better understanding about it. I'm gonna have to go on strip with this one because I'm gonna read from here, but I got a bunch of other analogies and allegorical stuff I can bring to this table about the ego. So this ought to be fun for me as I teach it. So again, let's talk about the ego is question mark. I added in one time I had not all bad. Let me break that down too. And the ego is your desires and emotions. For real. But they are really your dark side. So let me break that down for you. Hope you get to understand that after I get done. So that's the whole point. You tell them what you're going to tell them, and then at the end, you tell them what you told them, and that's how you give a lesson. Hopefully, I'm doing that. So let's give it a shot. Let's talk about this ego thing. Understand, our ego is our identification with what? The physical body. You can't kill the ego. I hear these spiritual people talking about, you gotta kill the ego. It's part of you. The Egyptians had it right. They showed you a body with two heads. Haru, you, and the ego you, which is the other lower nature you. They occupy the same body. That means they're in the same place. In you. God created good and evil. Stop. Just get understanding. Stop playing little mind games with yourself. Sometimes it's best to just listen, comprehend, which is reflect, understand, meditate, and then you can scrutinize and put it to whatever. But you should get the understanding first before you start comparing and competing with other stuff. What you know, I'm gonna give you something that you don't obviously know. That's me doing my job. Let's go. Now, as soon as we are born, okay, this starts at birth. Brother Dr. Lippin tell you this. The Egyptian said a long time ago, but I heard him break it down, modern form, perfect, exact. As soon as we are born, we are told and begin to what? You ready? to believe that our arms, our legs, our skin, our thoughts, our ideas, etc., are what? Are what constitute the totality of our existence as human beings. That is wrong. Simple. But that's the ego concept. In addition, through the process of what? Reincarnation, because of the ego self, we have, had this false, again, identity hammered into our heads, as it were, from what? Generation to generation to lifetime after lifetime. And it's like we've been hypnotized by what? By our surroundings, the environment that you grew up in. If you are in an ignorant environment for the first 7 years of your life, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be ignorant. If you grow up in an enlightened environment, good, well-mannered, you'll be a good, well-mannered. And that don't play out 100%, but the chances and the odds are a lot better. That's a fact. All that trying to prove it wrong. Well, I know. No. The fact is that you're in a good place first 7 years of your life, you get good understanding, you get good things done. You're in a bad place, you get traumatized, you get all kind of nonsense, and you are messed up mentally. Moving on. That's the fact. Okay. But they think that makes the totality of the person. In addition, through again, reincarnating from being ignorant, it's like you hypnotized and your surroundings, and you're convinced what? By those around you, we believe we are what? You ready? I keep telling you, mortal flesh and blood and nothing more. No, that's ignorant. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. That makes a lot more sense. Well, why are we here? I'm just come here. No, come here to work. No. Your idea is to come here and learn who you are. But all the stuff that's in between that's here, distractions, some people get caught up in that, hence they keep coming back. Okay, if you like those sort of things, material things, fortune and fame, then you like this world. You keep coming back. Okay, understand that. The goal is what? To go where you come from. The spirit wants to go that way, not that way. That's the concept that I teach, the philosophy that I learned. Okay, but that's what it's all about. And if you believe you're just human, you are ignorant to your higher or spiritual self. And you're going to come back again. Why? Until you learn better. I'm just trying to help that cycle stop for you. Learn, know thyself, live better, be better, do better. And in the end, you go back. Other than that, reincarnation is in the cards. So let's talk about this ego thing again. You are who you believe and think you are, and that's true. But you programmed that. You was given that. That's not your true self. And George said it best. You got to what? Be deprogrammed. Why? Because you was already programmed. The original program is not yours. So you have to deprogram, forget what you was taught, and reprogram with what going to serve you useful information, knowledge that you can manifest and make yourself the best you can be. They don't want that for us as a people. They want to pick and choose who can get the knowledge. It's called hidden. No, it's just called symbolic knowledge that they put out, that people who are ignorant of symbology don't get a clue, but you want to come join their club. They show you how to read the symbols. Play that game, know that thing. It's all BS. Sorry about that, I got offended. But yeah, they play the game with people, human beings. Our ancient Egyptians didn't play that game. They made it clear for everybody. The eye meant the same thing for everybody. Sorry. The ego says things like, you ready? Okay, but this is normal. I feel sorry, an emotion. I feel hungry, a desire. I feel happy, another emotion. I want this, more desires. I want that, desires. My body is good looking. Physical looks, okay, beauty's only skin deep. If you marry somebody on looks, that's not going to last either. But again, all material things. I want to get a lot of money. That was his mindset. For myself, why? Because then I can buy many things and then I will be happy. New cars, fancy clothes, walking around like you somebody. Ignorant. But I paid for that. The consequences of that action, I paid for. So I know better than anybody else. That's not the way to go. So when I tell you, I'm telling you from experience. Again, all the lessons I give are life lessons. Mine. My name is so-and-so. I come from parents and from nowhere else. Okay. My country is such and such. I'm in America. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am separate. Here we go. Here when the ego come in, it just starts to take over. I am separate from other people or ego. I am separate from the earth and the universe. That is total ignorance of your higher self. You don't know yourself. When you make that statement, that lets me know how ignorant you really are. If you tell me this is it, ain't no anybody came back and tell us about my man, we ain't gonna have a conversation. Moving on. That's how ignorant you are, and I won't waste my time discussing nothing. And watch this. My thoughts are my own creation. Nothing inspires them except what? My own mind. There is no such thing as a spirit. Can you get any more ignorant than that? Yep, watch this. Life is flesh and blood, nothing else. So while I'm here, I will do as I will, aka I will live it up till the day I die. For you only live once. I, my, me. That's what the ego says. And then the joke is that a prostitute says what? Somebody say what? Yeah. So the phrase is the ego says I, me, and mine. Never we, you, or us. That's why it's separate. It edged God out. It's on its own. Not one with God, but on its own by itself. That's nothing. That's going to end up good for you if you let that lead you. Why? You'll find out why. If that ignorant person is that ignorant, you not going to make good life decisions on a daily basis. Impossible. That's why. And the consequences of those bad decisions, you have to pay for them. Okay, and you can have a little more thought and respect about the afterlife. You're sitting around somebody wondering, well, how did I get here? Well, what the? Yeah, okay, simple. Moving on. Let's talk about that ego thing that we call the devil, or we give it all kind of names, Sutan, and say, oh, this. Nope, real simple. The ego, or your personality, is what is the source of human pleasures. And guess what? With that pleasure, there's got to be pain. In the world experience, in the human form, everything is done in duality. That's why you see me doing this. Maya, mean they got the balance. And the brain is two hemispheres for a reason. Again, the ego don't use but what? Itself. One side. If you're female, you think female egoistic. Male, you think of male egoistic, but you're not thinking in harmony with both sides and showing respect and balance in your life. That's the difference of an ignorant person. Oh, I know me. Yeah, you know half of you. That's the gimme part. That's the gimme. Knowing thyself, the whole self, the one self, the higher self. Let's go, the true self. And the ego personality is the source of all human what pleasure and pain and in the world experience that we have right here in physical form. All pleasurable or painful perceptions are a production of the ego aspect of the mind, and it is an untrained condition, meaning it don't know, it's ignorant, but it what believes. It don't know, it's dwelling on belief. Understand that? And whatever it believed, because whatever the first 7 years of programming was hit on it, that's what it's believing. Understand that too. That's simple fact. That's right. So let's go on. Now, an untrained, unconditioned mind is often what? Lost in the maze, aka distractions in life of the world, in their life experience. Some of us just go around and not knowing, well, why my luck so bad? I can't do this. I can't do that. I don't know why this or that. They don't have a clue about themselves and who they are. So they just living and wandering around. They become victims. A victim is somebody in a position or circumstances that they didn't foresee. They just happened into it because of what? Ignorance. I'm street. I know how to handle myself on the streets. Why? That's where I come from. I'm comfortable in the streets. Whatever city I go into, I'm going to the hood. Why? I'm comfortable in the hood. It's good that the people I hang out with maybe at this point ain't hood, but man, I'm just as comfortable in the hood as I am in the suburbs. I'm no more less comfortable in the suburbs. Why? I'm more comfortable around my people. Okay, you can take me out the hood. You can't take the hood out of me. Come on now. I'm never gonna give up my hood. Understand that? So moving on. But the ego, that's my ego self. I'm gonna show you how the ego don't give up. You got to have the ego. You just got to have him under your control. Don't let him control you. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. I've been telling you that for longer. We getting there. We getting there. The unconditioned mind is the ego mind. The learned mind, the philosophical training practice, Maya, right thing philosophy is a conditioned, trained mind, and that's how you get to what? Know thyself. Watch this. I'm breaking it down for you. Next one I got for you. The retrained, here we go, mind, unconditioned is the unconditioned mind, the untrained mind was the ignorant mind. Now we're getting down to the retrained, enlightened mind. The enlightened mind, unconditional mind is the source of what? Release or freedom from what? The fetters that hold the spirit chained to the events of the physical world because of its ignorance. Once you become conscious now or enlightened, you don't do those things no more. I don't live that lifestyle I used to live because of my ignorance. You change. That's the concept. Perfect example. And you change from the events of the world and other perceptions of themselves. I feel better about myself. Why? I don't think of myself as a drug dealer where I just got to sneak and creep around because it ain't really legal. I see myself as a sage. I'm proud. I walk around feeling good about myself. Big difference. That's why. And the ego is not making me run around. Nope. Ego just ready to go to war. When I call on him, he ready. He ain't never gonna stop. You see, that's why he works for Ra. There's another little tidbit. But let's get this going. I'm almost done. To become one with God, the ego must be controlled. To become one with God, and that's possible, but it's only possible when you have your ego mindset under control. I mean, you have to become enlightened. You have to become a better person. We must discard our ego mindset. Not discard it, but control it. Put it under servitude, so to speak. I call it using it to my advantage. We must discard, what's this? The notion that we are individuals living in the universe and that we are separate from everything else. That, again, is total ignorance. And most egoistic people believe and think that. Atheists, ain't no God, I'm doing. Again, that's ignorance. We must understand, again, that we are not the physical body. We're not just the mind. We're not our five senses, which is the physical body. Not anything we can feel or touch. Our spirit is internal. Hope you understand that. The process of cleansing what? The ego personality. Ding, 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 ding. That's the process of right thing philosophy, the Maya philosophy. We're going to purify our ego personality. How? By attaining and purified heart. And it's a process of practicing right thing philosophy or yoga. And that is to leave behind the ego and to develop the higher self. Haru, that's me and you. That's the higher self. That's Asar's son, okay, reincarnated in us. And our one goal, our one job in this physical form is to conquer said ego. That's what Asar did not do. So he bequeathed one thing to his offspring: don't let the ego kill or destroy you. That's left for us, for man to understand that thing that's in you. Don't let it destroy you. And it's still at work. We call it everything but what it is. The ego is a tool, as our bodies, and it is to be used. Here we go. There you go. It is to be used by us to what? To assist in our survival and our evolution. Meaning it's here to serve, not to control or run or master. This occurs how? By training, there you go, the ego to what? You ready? Serve one's best interest. When I'm tired, ain't feeling like it, sometimes I get up or don't want to get up, look at the clock. Okay, ego, your time. Ego don't care when it's go time. Whenever you calling him, he's ready to go. You got that buddy who, whenever you call him, he's down for whatever. That's your ego self. It's inside you. That's the fight that's in you. They say it ain't the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. Your ego is the biggest dog you got. And if you use it where it's intended, you can't lose. Watch this. Your ego should work for your best interest instead of what? You allowing it to run your life. It must be our servant, not the master. Bam! That's clear cut. And if you don't understand that, then you driven by your ego, trust me, you will get karma visit. Through denial, watch this, through denial, sublimation of what? The ego, controlling it, reeling them in, putting them in possible and putting them in service position. It is possible now to partake in the cosmic true self. One may become a transmitter like Ptah, and what? Do the work of they who what? Reside in their caves, aka the physical body on earth. That's an Egyptian proverb. We're almost there. Little more. One may become a conduit, meaning practicer, a teacher, sage of the what? Divine power of God, and able to do the work of what? The netters. How? By becoming in harmony with them, emulating them, mastering their aspects of your character, which I try to teach you on a daily basis. That's how. Wrapping it up. Become the Ka of Haru and the netters. Remember, the Ka is the mirror to the Ba. The Ba is the spirit. That's your higher self. Your Ka is the physical self in the body. Mirror that. Become one with it. One may become merged, see, I love this, with the spirit of nature, aka God, higher self, thereby how? Living on in immortality. How? When the physical body dies. The sage don't die. The enlightened don't die. Those who know themselves, who reach Nihas, Christhood, anointment, don't die. Good Christian, Muslims, and Jews who live by their tenets don't die when the physical body dies. It ain't no one particular person. It's everybody who does what they need to do. When the physical body dies, the spirit goes back to where it comes. Don't make a difference what religion you profess. Making in this thing right now. The pyramid and coffin text further admonished us to do what? Awaken the netter quality, the goodness in you, in man and woman, to what? To free him or herself, save him or herself from what? The Osirian path of being what? Ignorant of the ego self, and let it get the best of you and take you out. So your passion and your reincarnation. If you love this physical world, you will reincarnate. If you don't conquer your ego self, you'll be back again. And conquer. This is the best part. Wrapping it up. This is the coup de grace right here. I'm setting you up. When you conquer the enemy, which is who? Your ego personality, which is in you. Because how? By doing so, what happened? The one God may now shine forth through what? You are purified by your soul in splendor and righteousness. How that happened, you put the work in, you make it happen. It don't happen no other way. That is the only way, and that's the lesson about the ego. Is not always bad. It's the dark side. You have to shine the light on it and what? Bring it to fruition and understand it for what it is. It's just emotions and desires that you have to get control over, not let it run you. Hope you got the lesson. Hope you understand it. That's it. In closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100 and me 100 minus a day. So I never know that right thinkers like you passed away. I'll be back with the philosophy of sleep and the four states of consciousness.